I've always had, my life has been governed by the need to communicate, and I see the value of communication. But I'd be very interested in your view of how the communicating media is playing its part today, which is a part that really should be handled with greater responsibility than probably ever in history.
As far as the media is concerned, it reminds me of a television program which I watched this morning at 5:15. It continued till some time later. I think it was a cardinal who was interviewed, and he went through all his meandering profession, from one profession to another, meandering pursuit of what he wanted, what he really desired. From one profession to another, from then to another, and so on. He became almost a Catholic bishop. He studied so many different subjects, and in the end he thought he found peace. But there I differed with him, because all throughout his career he was trying to establish the fact that our society is hypocritical. Politics is married to immorality, and our life in every sphere, even in medicine, is married to immorality. And the doctors have been serving the cause of the politicians by promoting such things which are necessary, they think, for their economy. So on and so forth. All through that reflection of the past, he appeared to be a very wise and genuine man. But at last he defeated himself when he started showing off that now I have got the press attention, now I have got so many hundreds of thousands of people following me, and this and that. So unfortunately, I think he was ultimately duped by his own ego. So I wanted to write to him, so please take note of this. But many things the things you have raised have been touched by this, I don't know what his present status is, a cardinal or whatever it is, and he attempted to answer them. He was in search of soul, which I call ego. In non-religious terminology, the soul is ego, and the ego is the ultimate decisive power which sits somewhere in the brain, which is mind, which orders everything to the body, which follows it, and if it does not follow, then that body is diseased. It suffers from some sort of paralysis. So this is the search for soul, which in ordinary terms we can make. But what is that soul? What is morality to that soul? That is the question. If the soul is moral, then whenever we do not listen to the soul, we become immoral. Otherwise, the issue of morality is very difficult to handle, because according to the modern terminology in the present politics of the world, morality is loyalty to your own people. Morality is no absolute value. You have to be moral, you are loyal to your own people and the cause of your own people, or you are immoral. And as such, you relinquish the right to lead the people. But at the same time, morality according to them requires that you have to be immoral to all others to gain something for your country. Now this is what is happening everywhere. in the children fund, in everything you observe today, the children you are seeking to help in the name of humanity are those children who suffer from your policy of being cruel to the people to whom they belong. Now this may be paradoxical, but it is not paradoxical to me, because in the overall policy, your government or any other Western government must follow a policy whereby you can draw every drop of blood flowing in the third world. Or even if it comes to a decision whether you should whether you should go for the blood of your own Western people in the next country, in the country next to you, you will not spare that. This is the final. If you do, then you will not be loyal to your own country. So the question of morality has to be judged at this level, and as long as the morality is understood to mean a confined, understood to mean to apply to a confined area, and is not permitted to become absolute in the sense of being universal, no remedy can be found for this ailing world unless you change your definition of morality. It has to be absolute. If it is not, then when you treat the third world countries or the poorer countries or the countries you find you can treat in the sense that you draw something out of them, whether they are fellow Westerns or others. As long as you think in these terms, nothing can be done to improve the prospects of peace in this world. But these poor children who suffer, who are shown on television every day, what happened to them? Why did it happen to them? Because of how West had treated these people, these countries, and they had to end up in this disaster. I can speak volumes on this issue to make it clearer, but the fact is that we are living a life of duality. In the name of humanity, we want to correct the wrongs done by our own people to some other people who ultimately end up in those most heinous sights of children dying with hunger, with bloated bellies and this and that. So I hope, because you are all very intelligent and intellectual people, you will build up from this answer what I am aiming to do. We live in a world of duality. And on one side we see peace and human values working. On the other hand, we see the human values being trampled upon and being totally ignored by our own people. This is a sad story of the modern times, unfortunately.
Yes. There's great hypocrisy in the world.
That's
isn't
right.
there?
That's right.
It's very sad.